No, you went right.
All right. Good Friday morning. Today is Friday, October 15th, 2021, and this is your Friday morning safety meeting. My name is Dennis Davis. I work in the safety department. The safety department is located in the Z building on the ground level, right in the center of the room, right next to the pillars. So if you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns, don't hesitate to stop by. Or if you're out on the road and you have some questions, don't hesitate to give us a call. And we'll do our best to get you the best information we possibly can. So we do this Friday morning meeting every Friday morning. We're live here in Springfield, Missouri. We are broadcasting live on Facebook and on YouTube. So thank you to those folks that are tuned in now and to those folks that will be watching us later on. So for our folks that are here live with us, if you want to continue to watch this and get your weekly updates, of course, we don't want you watching it while you're driving down the road. So it is available to you on the app and then on social media to watch at a later time.
Hold on, Dennis. You can't watch it when you're going down the road?
Nope, can't watch it while you're going down the road.
Gotcha.
I mean, I guess you can. It's just not advisable
Or legal.
So, but one of my favorite things about this meeting is that our breakfast is free. So if you haven't had breakfast this morning, either in Pittston or in Springfield or Salt Lake City, jump in line and let's give our folks a round of applause over there for taking care of us this morning. All right. The other great thing about these meetings is that, again, we're broadcasting live from 3 locations. So let's go east to our Pittston, Pennsylvania terminal. I think we got Rick Iford with us this morning. Good morning, Rick.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you all?
Doing all right. So last week, man, you had a terrific crowd up there, and it looks like you got a pretty decent crowd up there now. Tell us what's going on at the Pittston terminal.
We do have a good crowd. We got some people in line here, and I'm here with a host of friends and family, and it's been a good week.
All right, I think you've got we've got a lot of amenities here, especially here in Springfield. We've got, of course, you can see to our back the gymnasium, the movie theater, the doctor's office, but we also have our sleep clinic here in the basement. But our sleep contact, Heather Mainkoff, is actually there with you yesterday and today in Pittston. Is that correct?
Yeah, she is here. She wanted me to give a shout out and let everybody know that she is here. She will be here for till the end of the day. And if there's anybody close that's listening and needs to swap out that CPAP machine, come on in and get that taken care of. Yesterday was a busy day for her.
Good. Hopefully we can get as many of those machines swapped out as possible. Today's the last day she'll be there. And of course, here in Springfield and Salt Lake City, you can get those CPAP machines swapped out as well. So, Rick, if you guys have got any questions, comments, or concerns, don't hesitate to jump in the mic and we'll get you right on.
Hey, we appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right. Let's go west to the always exciting, always live, bright and early in the morning crowd in Salt Lake City. Troy, good morning.
Good morning. That's what we do.
I'm still convinced that you've figured out a way to pump that sound into the
Next
meetings.
week, I'll have them all stand up here on the stage. Okay.
Hey, there you go. I like it. But it is still pretty exciting to hear the excitement it is for our drivers and our in-house folks out there in Salt Lake City. Of course, they're a little bit earlier in the day right now than we are. So, it truly is breakfast time for them and they're ready to go. They're excited. Tell us about some of the exciting things going on in Salt Lake City.
We've got a great facility in Salt Lake City. So everybody's anxious to come here. Trainers, trainees, anybody wants to come to Salt Lake, we're ready for you. We've got a great facility. We've got a great training staff. We've got great, breakfast here. So it is 28 degrees in Salt Lake right now, but other than that, it's beautiful.
All right, Mitch, I just want you to know that I didn't prompt that weather update. So, but Cherry, real quick, I'm going to put you on the spot. Tell us, I know there's over the last 2 years or so, there's been a lot of changes out in Salt Lake City. Tell us one thing, one amenity, one whatever, your favorite thing about the new facility out there in Salt Lake City.
The basketball court. We've got a full-size basketball court here in Salt Lake City, and it's amazing. It's got Prime logo on the floor, and it's too much fun. And it's just a good distraction, for the drivers. Anytime you need a little break, you need to get a little exercise. We got a full exercise machines, treadmills, and a good workout area, and like you said, a full basketball court. So that's my favorite part.
Now, Troy, you said your favorite part was the basketball court, but you have no game.
You
You have no
Time to come
game.
to Salt Lake, sir. Time to come to Salt Lake. Let's go.
No, I think the last time I was there, you were in a sling. I mean, come on, let's. But hey, I may surprise you. I'll come up there. I do lovely at all sports, so I'll come out there and we'll issue you a quick game. Do quick work. So,
Yeah, well,
anybody
we've got
else?
senior citizens on. Yeah, of course. You can come out anytime.
We're gonna need to broadcast this one, I think, Dennis. You go up there and play basketball. We need to
Hey,
broadcast.
we can handle it. We can handle it. So, any questions, comments, or concerns? Don't hesitate to get your folks right there on the microphone. Thanks a lot,
You
Troy.
got it, buddy. Thank you very
All right,
much.
right back here at Springfield, Missouri. Good morning. How are you folks here with me today? Good. You guys aren't excited like I saw, like said, yeah, there you go. Let's get excited, man. We've got a lot to be thankful for. We all work for a great company, and some of our new folks that are here may not understand and know the culture and know how fortunate me and Dave are. I think Dave's just eclipsed 20 years.
20 years.
Here at the company. I'm approaching year 20 here real shortly. So, we're biased. I'll be 100% honest with you. We're biased. We love the company. Guy Willen and Robert Willen and Steve Field Willen, I'll retire from here one day. But, for our new folks, we're pretty excited that you guys are here. With the way that the economy is and the job market is right now, you guys had a ton of options on where to go, what to do. Every single trucking company is literally begging for you to come there, as we are too, and we're glad that you guys chose us. So at East Terminal, our new folks, primarily our folks wearing these neon vests, please stand and give us an opportunity to recognize you, and thank you for coming here.
Stand it up.
Well, good deal, good deal. I typically don't do these meetings alone. There is somebody up here with me. This is Dave White. He is one of our safety supervisors. Like I said, he's been here for, just a shade over 20 years. He started when he was like 12 years old. Good morning, Dave. Welcome.
Now I got to buy your lunch, right?
At least my breakfast. How about that?
Yeah, we'll get you breakfast, no problem. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming to Prime. Thank you for joining our family, all the new folks out there. Great to have you. You're going to learn a lot here in the next few weeks, months, and years about driving. It is a tough occupation, though. I want to tell you that. I spent about 3 or 4 years over the road driving myself, and it's a lot to learn out there, especially in today's environment. You got more traffic, you got more people not paying attention, you got everything going on, the weather, you name it. So pay attention to your trainers. Listen to what they say. We vet our trainers very seriously here. They got to get through operations first to be a trainer. Then they got to come to safety, payroll, leasing. Everybody has to sign off on if they're going to be a trainer. And some of them, a number of them get declined because they're just not quite ready yet. And we want to have the best trainers available for you all, because that's what makes our company. What they can teach you and what you can learn from them, you carry on, and hopefully someday down the road you'll be a trainer too. And we'll get Jason up here to talk about that, because that's very important, training the best. My experience coming from me, I learned in about 2 weeks. I went to a truck driving school, got my CDL, and in 2 weeks I was with a trainer, and after 2 weeks they said, here's the keys. And I was looking at the truck going, oh my gosh. But you know what? I did pretty well for those 3 or 4 years. I had a couple minor accidents, but nothing major. But still, it was very nerve-wracking, I could say that. And it's when you can get as much experience some of you will be getting, that's what you want when you're out there. Especially with the winters coming up, you got winter road conditions that's going to be approaching very quickly, and that's going to make a difference. And even if you've driven in snow and ice, that doesn't mean you've driven a tractor trailer in snow and ice. There's a big difference. So pay attention. If you have questions, definitely let your fleet manager know. If it's regarding safety, let us know. We want to be involved. We want to see you succeed, because that's what's going to make this company. There's no doubt. And we've got proof, years of it here at Prime. So you see where we're sitting at right here. we got a great owner as well here. He reinvests back in the company, and he's our #1 driver advocate. There's no doubt about it. He loves drivers because he was a driver at one point in his life. So he knows how tough it is, and he's behind you 100%. So Dennis, you were a fleet manager for a while. How'd that work out, training there, working with new drivers?
Working with new drivers is one of the best opportunities you have to do your part to help the company grow. In any situation where you're coming into a new environment, you don't get many opportunities to make a good first impression. And that meeting with your fleet manager, so for you new folks, maybe that'll happen here in the next couple of days, make sure you take advantage of that opportunity, get a chance to know him or her. If they're off-site, make it a point to, get to Salt Lake City, get to Pittston, get to Denver, wherever your fleet manager lives, get there to meet them face-to-face, shake their hand, talk to them and get a feel for who they are.
No doubt about it. And, we'll always say our drivers, you got the toughest job in this business. There's no doubt, dealing with our customers, dealing with the road conditions, the traffic, everything. But our second toughest job in this company, there's no doubt, is being a fleet manager. They're responsible for so much of your pay, how you work, how you run, how you're working, complaints, they take everything. And so definitely get to know them, get their cell phone numbers, know who they are, know who's covering for them on their boards and stuff as well, because it's great. I mean, that's your contact. That's your person. If something happens that you need to talk with, and no doubt they're very important here. So what else we got this morning, brother?
So before we get into some safety numbers, I'll give you guys a quick lineup of what we got for today. So Dave will give you some information about, inspections and some of the things we got going on safety-wise. Then we'll have Kevin French from our accident claims department to talk to you about what will happen in case you do get involved in an accident, whether it's your fault or the other party's fault, and what you can expect. We always get tons of questions about deductibles and, should I have to pay? Why do I have to pay? How much do I have to pay? Kevin and, a couple people in our accident claims department will be available to answer those questions for you. We're going to have Jason Seymour, as Dave mentioned, to talk about the earning potential. These folks that are sitting here in these neon vests, you've got 6-figure potential this time next year. So before Christmas of 2022, $100,000 earned to you. That potential is available to you today, right now. It's not easy, but Jason will get into some details about how to get it done. Brandon Mallard from our Human Resources Department will be here with us today to talk about open enrollment. And I think there's a new caveat this year. Typically, folks like me, we don't change anything, so we just ignore the emails and move on. But I think this year, action is required, but I think just about everybody. So he'll get into some details about that. Then, of course, our buddy Chase, who just relocated in the building to our area. Yep. So we got to make sure we get him on today, or he'll be standing in our desk here.
He's been staring at us this week.
Exactly. He's usually the one we cut when we find ourselves running short on time. But as we, tax season at the end of the quarter is coming, so we'll be able to get him on. And then we'll close it out and send everybody to work.
Sounds good, Dennis. Let's talk about some safety.
Go for it.
All right. This past week, we had 137 inspections. 89 of those were clean, so a 65% clean rate, very solid number. Just remember, any inspection you get as an independent contractor, owner, operator, if it's clean, there's no violations on it, you get $100. If you're a company driver, it's 25. So awesome job, 65%, solid numbers. Want to give you a heads up too. We've already had 2 deer hits this morning. The deer are running, so be aware of that when you're out there on the roadways. If you see a deer pop out in front of you, do not swerve, do not hard brake, just hit it. There's plenty of deer out there in the world that will repopulate, and that's what they're doing right now. They're having fun. That's why they're running all over the place. So keep that in mind when they're out there and they jump out in front of you, hit them. Don't swerve, don't hard brake. We don't need a rollover. We don't need anybody getting injured over a deer. So they're cooking right now. So a couple other things. Talked to a highway patrolman yesterday up in Wyoming. I-80's already been shut down. They said they were hoping they would make it to November 1st, but obviously that didn't happen. So winter conditions are out there, especially out west. Troy said 28 degrees in Utah at Salt Lake this morning. Snow is flying. So when you're going west, make sure you got your chains on, or you got your chains with you, your cables. If you're using auto socks, that's fine too. You can get them right there in our company store at all 3 locations. but make sure you're legal, especially out in Colorado. If you're running west of Denver on I-70, you need to have your chains and cables on your truck. If you don't, you're going to get a ticket if they find out. And even if it's a 70-degree day up in the mountains and they stop you and you don't have them this time of year, they're going to give you a citation. I believe those start at about $500. And then they'll make you go buy them. And you don't want to buy them out on the road. You want to get them from us here at the terminals. So Salt Lake, here, Pittston, get your chains and cables on and be ready. Winter conditions too. Number one issue we have usually when it comes to accidents is speed. So you need to drive. Your speed needs to be appropriate for the conditions of the road and for what you feel you're comfortable with too. You're a new person coming in here, you've never driven a tractor trailer, maybe 55 miles an hour is as fast as you feel safe. That's fine. If your trainer takes it, maybe they feel they can run 63, 65. That's fine too. And snow, we need to slow that down though. Snow and ice, we need to reduce those speeds. 10, 15 miles an hour, maybe even more than that. It's going to depend on the road conditions. It's going to depend on your experience. So if you're with your trainer, ask him or her, say, hey, what do you think I should be running approximately out here? If you don't feel comfortable, just tell me you don't feel comfortable. If you need to shut down because the road conditions are too bad or because I-80 is closed up in Wyoming, which you would have to shut down, we ask you to communicate with your fleet manager. So keep that communication lines open. Keep them updated too. When do you think you're going to be rolling again? These states up north do a pretty good job at removing snow. They got the equipment to do it. You get down here in Southwest Missouri, we're doing better, but we still struggle sometimes. It depends how much wintry mix we get here. But up north in Iowa, Illinois, Minnesota, they do a pretty good job of getting those roads cleared because they know freight needs to move and people need to move, and that's part of our interstate system. So keep that in mind, but just keep that communication open with your fleet manager, and they can contact sales if we need to delay a load. We'd rather delay that load than the load be sitting in the ditch. So, got anything to add, Dennis?
I think that's it. I think we need to give some stuff away, don't we?
Ready to give some stuff away? Anybody want giveaways here? There we go.
Yeah. So typically, our director of safety, Steve Field, is the one that, conducts these meetings. He's out today. So whenever he's away, we take the opportunity to give away free stuff. That's one of my favorite things to do. So I think you got some questions, Dave.
I do. This one's going to be probably more for the people that have been here for a while, but what year was Prime established? When did we come in as a company? Who was it? It's 1970. Yeah, the new guy in security. What's your name, sir? Chris, what's your last name?
Norper.
And you just started in our security department?
Yes.
What'd you do before Prime?
Over the road truck driver as a reefer.
Awesome. Well, welcome aboard, man. Good job. Look at this. Dennis gives out the big gift first, man. A tool set. Man, you're being pretty nice today. What's the deal?
What else we got?
So let's go with another question. In the CDL manual, how far ahead should you be looking when you're going down the road? 12 to 15 seconds. The man right over here, Dennis, in a blue shirt.
All right.
Gets a little,
Give him the bag one.
the bag away. The bag's going. All right.
These are all courtesy of Smith.
You know what? I just happened to bring a couple gift cards too, Dennis. Come on over here. We got a couple more questions. We got to get rid of these.
What do we got?
Let's go with the Subway card first. I think it's $25, man. You can get yourself a few sandwiches at Subway with that. Let's see. How many warning devices do you need on your truck? Those are the three. I just gave it away. Did you say three? Give it to her. That's good.
All right. Good job.
Awesome. Good job. Last question. How quickly, if you break down the side of the road, how quickly do you need to set those warning devices out?
10 minutes.
No, not 10 minutes.
Uh-oh.
Who said immediately? Gentlemen, right over here to the right. Yes, as soon as possible, immediately. They give you up to 10 minutes, but it's immediately. Yep. It's okay. That's right. No, something new to safety meeting. So that's a Starbucks card. It says $15 to $500. We're not for sure what's on that thing. So you may hit the jackpot or you may get 15, but at least you get a cup of coffee out of the deal or two. So yes, that's it, buddy.
I think that's all we got.
Let's get on Mr. French up here.
Let's roll on. So next speaker is going to be Mr. Kevin French. Kevin works in our accident claims department, and he works closely with the folks in our safety department. So the folks in our safety department are typically the ones that are going to take and process your accident reports. And then when it comes to, dealing with insurance companies or claimants, we shift that all over to our accident claims department. And Kevin is going to come talk to you a little bit about what that process is like and what to expect in case you do get involved in an accident. Good morning, Kevin.
Morning, Dennis. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Like Dennis said, I'm in the accident claims department. I have a few coworkers, a couple of them are here right now. That's Cammie Elder, Fleetwood Bartee, and our new associate, Ruthie Kelly. They're over there. She's trying to hide. I promised I wouldn't introduce her, but I lied. So she's over there. Our job is to take care of things when those unfortunate accidents happen and we've damaged somebody else's property. That's kind of the gist of what we do. We deal with other insurance companies, as Dennis said. We deal with other parties individually, other trucking companies, other firms and stuff like that. One of the biggest things that we request from you drivers when you're involved in an accident is to be professional. It's not the end of the world. Exchange information with the other driver. Take pictures. Please take pictures. This is going to sound kind of counterintuitive, but it's more important to take pictures when there's little damage to no damage than when there's a big crash. And the reason for that is we get reports that come in all the time that say, well, there was no damage. Okay, where's the proof of that? Because if this person drives away and is involved in another accident 2 minutes later, you got no proof that you didn't cause that damage. So take photos. And when you're taking photos, everybody wants to zoom in, be right up close with it. That's fine. Show the damage, but then take one that's a few steps back so we can see in perspective to the truck or the trailer, where it's at, how it happened. Take pictures of the scene of the accident before the trucks are moved, if possible. Now, all this is under the understanding that it's safe for you to do this. We don't expect you to be out in the middle of the highway trying to take pictures of an accident scene. Don't do anything that's going to risk you or somebody else, okay? Safety is our number one goal here, and we want everyone to be safe. Now, in the event of an accident, some things happen. You're going to have a deductible charge. There are 3 different deductibles that we deal with. One is for the tractor, it's $1,000. The other is for the trailer, it's $500. And the third one is the liability deductible. Now, tractor and trailer, that's pretty simple. If there's damage to the prime equipment, you're going to get charged that deductible. If the damage is less than deductible, you get the difference refunded back to you. As soon as we get the bills processed to know how much it's going to be, it gets refunded right back to you. So the deductibles are the maximum that you have to pay out. Now, in the event of you damaging somebody else's property, that's where the $500 liability deductible comes from. And we use that to help pay for the damages. In the case of the damages being less than the 500, again, you'll get the difference refunded back to you. When you're involved in an accident, be professional. That's the biggest thing. It's not personal. It's not the end of the world. Just talk with the other party, get their information, give them your information, move on. If there's going to be any arguing, that's this guy. It's my job. I get to argue with them for you. We're your advocates. Now, sometimes you may be accused of being involved in an accident. In those situations, we are going to charge the $500 liability deductible up front while we investigate. The most important thing to remember is that's not an admission that we're going to pay for anything. That's just the process, okay? That doesn't mean that we're going to pay them all out. It just means that we're investigating. So if you're found not at fault, you get that money right back, okay? So taking pictures, the more pictures, you can never take enough pictures. I'm just going to stress that. Send them in through your macro 38. Most everybody here probably has a smartphone. You've got a camera right there. Use it. Take advantage of it, okay? That's the biggest thing that we can ask for is that's your proof of what did or did not happen, okay? We try and charge everything. If we're going to charge deductibles, we try and charge them as soon as the incident occurs, so that way you know when it's coming through. You're not surprised 2 months later, 3 months later down the road when something finally walks through. That way you know and you can plan for what you're dealing with, okay? So I think that pretty much wraps it up as far as, we do sit right beside safety. So a lot of times if you're coming to see safety, they can refer you over to us. We're happy to talk with you. If you have specific questions about a particular claim in general, come see us or give us a call. We'll be happy to go over things with you because we don't like to, guess on what happened in a claim without having the information in front of us. But yes, you have a question?
Yeah, what is the difference between an accident and an incident?
You want to help field this one, Dennis? Or David?
Everybody's looking around at each other. Okay. So yeah, an accident where we have damage to the equipment, damage to a building, things like that. Incidents like where we make a ruts in a yard, do something minor, maybe just clip a mirror, things like that. And we'll look at, and that's why it's so important, Kevin mentioned about taking pictures. Need to document what the damage is. Because if we don't know what we're looking at, we're going to probably end up listing it as an accident. And later on, we can always go back and change that to an incident, but we need to see what it is first. And we'll look at the damage and we'll see what it is. But yeah, if you like damage your fender on your truck, that's an accident, no doubt. So did that clarify it? Jim?
Yeah, yes and no.
Okay.
That's why I let him field that question.
Like you said, we had 2 deer hits this morning. Okay.
Yep.
Now, would that be considered as an incident or an accident?
We list those as an incidents. Yes, deer hits. Yep. Even though you're still going to get charged a deductible because there's if there's tractor damage, you'll get charged that, but it's non-preventable incident. So
One quick note, my associate Cammy brought up that the deductibles only apply to lease drivers. They do not apply to the company drivers. So that's an important, if you're thinking about becoming a company driver, that might be way in your favor.
And once again, on those deer strikes, now, if you have a deer guard, isn't that deductible waived?
No, if there's any damage to the tractor, the deductible still applies. The deer guard is there to help mitigate the damages, so that might make it
Okay,
less
that's
expensive.
new. I remember in the past, they used to waive the deductible if you hit a deer.
is that first guard, Kevin? First guard waive those? That's what we were told before.
If First Guard does on an
Yeah.
owner operator truck,
If you're,
that'd be a question you'd have to direct to First Guard. We don't deal with.
are you buying your truck, Roy?
Yes,
Yeah, I think First Guard does waive those.
okay.
Yep,
There
but
it is.
that's through them. That's not through us. So. Any other questions?
I got a question before you get out of here, Kevin. You mentioned earlier that you're going to go ahead and charge the deductible, in a case of an alleged situation. Can we talk just a little bit more about that? That seems to be one of the most frequent misunderstandings when we get into a situation. Let's say we're at a dock or at a truck stop and we are pulling out of the spot, and as we swing around to the right, the tail of the trailer clips this guy's front end, and maybe we didn't even realize that we did it. And we get down the road, and of course that company calls and reports it. Hey, truck, ... as they were pulling off, nothing big. They scratched the front of our truck. What's the process that we'll go through with that?
If we have been notified of a potential accident or incident, like I said, we're going to charge the deductible up front when an accident happens. That is just the process. That's not an admission that we think that you did something, or that we're admitting that you did something, or that we're going to pay for anything. It's just the first step in the process of the investigation. We have to show that we're acting like a normal insurance company would. So that's part of the process. We'll investigate. We'll let the other side send their information in. We'll look at our damages. We'll talk to the driver. We'll do an investigation into what happened in the claim. Okay. Again, I can only stress to you that it's not an admission of guilt that you've been charged. If we find in the process of the investigation that you weren't at fault, or that there's not enough evidence to substantiate us making a pay on the claim and we deny it, we refund the deductible as soon as possible. Okay, in full. So it's just a step in the process. It's not the end of the world, or it's not the end of the claim. It's just not like we're throwing our hands up and saying, oh, well, we'll just pay it. So that's not how we roll here.
And be aware too, a lot of customers, truck stops, they all have cameras. So if you hit somebody, just admit it, hit it. We'll take care of the damage. We'll work with it. We'll take it from there. But if you didn't, obviously say no, but just remember, any customers, lots, things like that, because we've had a few issues where, our truck pulls out, takes off the front end of another truck, our driver goes, well, I don't think I did that. Well, then the customer provides a video to us, and we're kind of like going, ooh, as a customer saying, yeah, you did. Look at this video, Prime. And it's like, so keep that in mind. Just tell us the truth. That's what we want. And that's what we want you to do. And hey, we'll deal with the damage. It's not the end of the world. So we'll go from there and move forward. So.
Hey, Dave and
Yes.
Kevin, we've got some questions from online here. Go ahead,
Oh.
Mitch.
Hold on.
Mitch said it's not working. He didn't say that we're not going to take those questions.
Robert wants to know how long does the other party have to file a claim and get their equipment in for repairs?
Every state has what's called a statute of limitations that they can have to file a claim. So that's a very hard question to answer. Most states, it's between 2 to 3 years. Okay, that means that they have up to that time frame to submit a claim. Typically, the longer they wait before they file that claim, the less believable it is. But they still have the right to file the claim. Okay, most times we have claims presented to us within 2 to 3 months. Sometimes it's because the drivers don't know who we are. Sometimes it's just they have a lack of communication. So we have to allow for that.
Is that the only question?
I think we're still dealing with the microphone issue though. Hold on. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, one more. Do all these incidents or accidents get points put on the driver's CDL license and personal vehicle insurance?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
Do all of these incidents or accidents get points put on the driver's CDL license and personal vehicle insurance?
If there's a moving violation involved that gets ticket and he pays for the ticket or the driver pays for a ticket, then yeah, that would show on your MVR. But if there's no ticket, no. And many times police will just do a report, exchange information, move on, and that's not going to show. That won't show on your MVR. So if you ever have questions with your MVR, you want to know what's on there, let us know because we can run one for you if need be, or we'll look at the last one we ran and see what it shows, and we'll go over. That's what we're doing in safety. You know, we're here for information for you. And I had a number of drivers yesterday just stop by and say, hey, what's my safety record look like? That's a great question. You want to see what you want to know what's on your safety record. And that's all accidents, incidents, tickets, things like that we have. Love to go over that information with you. So anything else for Kevin?
If you have a specific question about a specific claim,
Yep.
Kevin and Cammie, I think are going to hang out a little bit after the meeting and, just come on up and ask the question. So, hey, Kevin, appreciate you being here. We didn't bring up the fact that, despite you're the claims guy, you plowed into somebody over here last week, but we'll let it go.
Okay.
First-hand experience right here.
So there's now a phrase at Prime, I pulled a French, meaning that you ran into the back of somebody. So yeah, I've been turned into a verb.
So when we talk about distracted driving, it is a real thing. And we don't know exactly what happened. We're just glad that Kevin's okay. But we are all human too.
Right.
So
I can relate to being involved in an accident firsthand. Yes.
all right. Thanks a lot,
Good
Kevin.
job, Kevin. Appreciate it.
All right. We're going to shift gears a little bit. I mentioned a little bit earlier about how our new folks have this six-figure earning potential before Christmas time of 2022. And it's real. It's not smoke and mirrors. It's not something that we made up. And we're going to bring up Jason Seymour. And Jason's one of my favorite people that work here at Prime. I had the opportunity some 18, 19, 20 years ago to sit by Jason and really listen to the conversation that Jason had with his drivers when he ran a fleet. And I can tell you firsthand that, this guy is passionate about his drivers. He's straightforward. He'll tell you when you're wrong, but he is probably one of the biggest driver advocates we have in the building. He's got some information to talk to you about earning potential.
Speaking of driver advocates, who did the schedule this morning? You got accident claims, health insurance, man.
That'd be
We could
Dennis.
find some accountants to come in and talk about debits and credits and just finish us all off, man. Holy cow.
We talked about free breakfast.
Well, that's true. You did bring that up. Anyway, I feel like we all need to get up and stretch a little bit. So anyway, my name is Jason Seymour. I work in reefer operations, and I'm very happy to be able to speak to you all today. Most of what I'm going to say, really, I want to direct towards the folks in the yellow vest, the new people, whether you're here, Salt Lake City or in Pittston. Welcome. We appreciate it. We're very proud of what we've built here, and we're very happy to welcome you into the family. I have a great job here at Prime because my job is really to talk to drivers every day. Sometimes they're doing great. Sometimes they're having some challenges. It's really what we do is we try to coach everybody to be as successful as they can be, because that's how we make all of ourselves successful, right? It all starts with you, and that's my job, is the more successful I can help make you, then the more successful I'm going to be and everybody's going to be. So what I'm here today is just to ask you a really simple question. How many people, if I ask you if you want to make $100,000 in the next 52 weeks, starting today, how many people want to make $100,000 in the next 52 weeks? Everybody? Yeah, me too. Right on. The great thing about it is I've got the perfect way for you to do it. And that's what I'm going to do is just kind of go over that program a little bit with you today. Some of you may already be doing it. I know some of you are already doing it. I was talking to Roy yesterday, and, you know, he's a guy that, you know, when I look at Roy and Buddy, these are folks that are out doing it. I'm sure there's more in here now, but they can attest to it. It's fine that I'm up here spouting numbers at you, but I mean, there's people in this room right now that came through this program that are doing it, can prove to you that are doing it, that are probably a way better source of, you know, advice and guidance than maybe even I can be sometimes. So anyway, the folks in the yellow vest, welcome. You're here. You're in the PSD program. You're working towards getting that CDL. During that time, it takes about 4 weeks. During that 4-week period of time, your earnings are going to be zero, right? You just, you know, we give you a little bit of an advance for some food and stuff along the way. But for the next 4 weeks, until you get that CDL, your earnings are zero. Now, once you get that CDL and you're hired, you go into our training program. And our training program, while you're out running for those 30,000 miles minimum, okay, that's the operative word there, is minimum. No accidents, no tickets, no critical events. Logs are good. You can complete that, should be able to complete that 30,000 mile training period in about 9 weeks. And during that 9-week period of time, we're going to pay you $900 a week. So you think, okay, 9 weeks at $900 a week. So in the next 9 weeks, I'm earning $8,100 that's going into my bank account. Okay. Now, once you upgrade, once you've completed the training program, you're like, okay, I'm ready to go out on my own. Just a little disclaimer here. These are reefer lease numbers. Okay. So they're going to be a little bit different on flatbed, a little bit different in tanker. If you're going company, they're going to be different even still. So these are reefer lease numbers. That's the division that I work in. But again, they're all on the lease side. All 3 divisions are relatively close. Our average solo lease operator, after paying truck payment, after paying fuel, average profit over the last 52 weeks. This isn't just like we're not just, messing with the numbers to make them look good. This is an average over the last 52 weeks is over $1,500 a week, $1,565 to be exact. After truck payment, after fuel, $1,565. Okay. Now you can train at 6 months. So if you think I've already got 4 weeks in my CDL PSD program, 9 weeks training, that's 13 weeks. If I go another 13 weeks, that puts me at my 6 month period of time. So that's what I want to try to focus in on now is we want you planning right away to be prepared to train when you get to that 6 month mark. So if in the next 13 weeks, I'm running solo, I'm learning to operate a truck on my own profitably, safely, making sure I'm logging correctly, staying accident free, $1,565 a week at 13 weeks, that's another little over $20,000, okay? So you can see the money starts rolling in a little bit now as you take each step up the ladder. Now you come in at 6 months and you can train, you go through the instructor trainer course and you come out and you take somebody out just like yourself, okay? So I've been here 6 months. Many of you are going to be paired up with people that are at that 6 month mark and they're going through the class right now to become certified as a trainer. And I'm going to take you out and I'm going to teach you everything I know. I'm going to teach you how to pre-trip. I'm going to teach you how to back. I'm going to teach you how to operate the truck all while I'm running solo freight. So I'm going to get the $1,565 that I'm getting just for running freight because I'm still doing that. But in addition to that, I'm going to get another $300 a week just for, helping train you towards getting that CDL. Okay. So that puts it at $1,865 a week. Now here's where the real money comes in. Teams are so valuable in our system right now. Okay. And this is what Roy and Buddy do so well. Teams are extremely, extremely valuable. We run close to 1,200 of them, and we need all of them we can get. Our average team earnings, after paying truck payment, after paying fuel, after paying the co-driver, all right, after paying that trainee, are $3,045 a week. Okay, $3,045 a week. So if you think you ran 6 months as a solo, 6 months as a team, If you have 23 weeks at 3,045 week, that's a little over 66,000, almost $67,000. Okay. So if you add all that together, starting today, 4 weeks at 0, 9 weeks at 900, 13 weeks at 1,565, another 4 weeks at 1,865, and another 23 weeks at 3,045, that comes up to over $100,000 in your pocket, in your bank account for you and your family in the next 52 weeks. October 15th of 2022, your bank account can be $100,000, more in it than what it is right now. And the great thing about this program is that it's open to everybody. Okay. It's open to everybody, but you got to start planning right now. There's bumps along the way. It's not easy. You got to make sure you're good on your logs. That's probably the main stumbling block. Make sure you're staying close to your log auditor. Make sure you're staying close to your fleet manager. We talked about your circle of trust. We had one down here last week, I think, with Oakland and his SBU. We have these small business units with a fleet manager, a road assist advisor, a payroll associate, log associate. The safety guys are all involved in that because we want to make sure, again, that you're set up for success at each step along the way. It's important that you're checking those benchmarks so that when you get to that 6-month mark, you're prepared to take advantage of the opportunity that's here in front of you. And we don't have to delay anything because it's like, oh, well, your logs are a little whacked out. We've got to wait another month. Okay. We want to make sure that everybody is prepared at that 6-month period of time. And I'll tell you, it's not just good for you. It's good for us too. It's good for everybody. That's the thing is we're aligned from the top to the bottom. I didn't see old Dan back there. Dan can do it too. Dan's look like he's still waking up a little bit, but Dan's a good one. Dan runs a lot of team for us and can attest to these numbers as well. So anyway, that's my message to you today. The opportunity is there for you. Take advantage of it. We're all here to help you. I work in the Z building in the basement. Stan isn't here. He works in the Z building, second floor. Jamie, any of us are here to help you along the way. But the message is $100,000, 6 figures in the next 52 weeks. We need you. Our customers need you. It's a huge opportunity for yourself and your family. And that's really all I have. Is there any questions?
Jason, we got one over here. Somebody said that these numbers are super exciting and they're interested in bringing some of their friends over. Is there any benefit to doing that for the current prom driver?
Yes, bringing your friends over. Yes, there is a robust referral bonus. I must admit, I cannot quote it to you directly. Maybe somebody can, but Mitch, you may know what it is.
Yeah, there's multiple different parts to it, but right now we're actually doing an extra $500 when you refer somebody that stays as a prime driver for 30 days.
Agreed.
There's
So,
mileage dip in too.
yeah, really what happens, I'm Rodney Rader, Director of Technology. So kind of get involved in the programs, but really what happens now is if you're bringing a driver on, essentially once they are hired, that's $100. Once they stay 30 days, right now we're actually adding on an additional bonus for a while. That's another $500. And then once they are an A seat for 6 months, there's another $500. Then at that point, essentially what happens is a quarter of a cent a mile kicks in for every mile they go. So as long as they stay here, you're making money off of them. And so really, when you see opportunities to recruit good drivers from other companies that you've been familiar with, we've talked about these numbers, the potential for you starting out, but that's really the starting point. Okay. This referral bonus is huge. We have some drivers making tons of money off of this. So I just want to throw that one out also, in addition to really this path that we've determined for you. It's a great path, great opportunities. And Jason does a great job with explaining it, but it's there, it's real. So, work towards it, plan towards it as he talks about.
Thank you. I knew somebody knew those numbers. I knew. So, he says some of these guys make a ton of money. I mean, the number that sticks in my head is we talk about these sometimes, some of these guys, I mean, like $80,000 a year, right? I mean, we had a guy made $85,000 last year in recruiting bonuses, right? I mean, it's amazing. So yeah, what I'm giving you is just the base numbers. And I hope I'm not stealing Robert's thunder, but this is a couple of weeks ago, he came up. That doesn't include the lease completion incentives. Okay. For anybody that's leasing a truck, you know, you run a truck for 3 years, you get a lease completion incentive that if you run, you know, somewhere in the probably $20,000 to $30,000 range, doesn't include the retention and rewards. We paid out a guy a couple weeks ago. Retention and rewards is every year that you are signed on, you know, running a service contract with Prime, it's $1,000. So if you're an owner operator, you get $1,000. If you're leasing a truck from Prime, if you're leasing a truck from Success Leasing rather, that's another $500. So you're either getting $1,000 a year or $1,500 a year that's put into a retirement account with your name on it. You're fully vested after 10 years. We paid out a guy, 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was like $87,000 or something like that. And we were up here talking about that. Robert was talking about that. And I remember Matt Puccio was over here, and he's not retired yet, but he had stated that he had over like $130,000 in his retirement account. That's fully funded by the company. So yeah, I'm just talking about like base numbers. I'm not talking about referral bonuses. I'm not talking about, you know, some of these longevity bonuses you get for keeping your students here over a period of time. I'm not talking about referral bonuses. I'm not talking about lease completion incentives. I'm not talking about the retention and rewards. I'm just talking base numbers. So you can see the sky really is the limit. And, you know, we're very proud of it. It isn't smoke and mirrors. It's what's built this company into what it is. We're very proud of it. And we want everybody to take advantage of it that wants to. So thank you.
You're not getting off that easy. You got my questions now.
Okay.
All right. So, you know, we talked about, you know, this is real. Rodney talked about it. I talked about it. You talk about it. We talk about it all the time, and the opportunity is there, you know, but that doesn't come without challenges, you know. So we talk about that, you know, that $3,000+ a week that a team can make. You know, what are some of the challenges that may come with, you know, we had Kevin French up here from our accident claims department. You know, you have an accident, your trainee hits something that's $1,000 right there.
Yeah.
Or, you know, if it's the trailer or liability, that's $500 each. What are, just real quick, because we're running up on time, you know, some of those challenges other than safety, you know, we talked about that could prevent, you know, you from making that type of money?
Well, I can just tell you from a dispatch standpoint, you know, I'm going to put a little plug in here for the ACE 2. You know, when you really break this down, it's math. It's revenue minus expenses equals profit. Okay. Revenue minus expenses equals profit. I can tell you most people that I've worked with over the years, okay, most people, they can go out and they can run the freight, pick up and deliver on time. And when you look at their revenue numbers, the revenue side of that math equation, it's probably right where it needs to be. The strength of our company is our freight network and our relationships with our customers. Okay. You know, that's all market driven. As much as, you know, I'd like to determine the rate or dictate the rate. I mean, that's all supply and demand. It's way bigger than me. It's way bigger than Prime. Steve and our team do a great job at keeping the pressure on the customers to keep those rates as high as we can. I believe, you know, if you compare our rates to our competitors, they're higher because of the impeccable service. We have the best drivers, we have the best equipment, we have the best support staff, the best technology, the best facilities. You know, customers are willing to pay for that. So that's what we got to keep our eye on right there. But that revenue side of that equation, most of the time, is right where it needs to be. Where you got to focus is that expense side of that equation, right? Revenue minus expenses equals profit. If the profit number isn't where you want it to be, you only can do one of two things. You either got to generate more revenue or you got to decrease your expenses, or some combination of the two. Now, how do we increase revenue? Well, I can train, I can instruct, I can be available more. We talk a lot about that. You know, holidays are coming up. I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but holidays are coming up. Everybody's freaked out. There's no Christmas trees on the shelves. Nobody's going to have Christmas trees this year, right? I mean, you hear it's all doom and gloom. Man, it is. And you know, our fleet averages in years past probably close to 80% on the road, close to it. Okay. It obviously goes up and down over the holidays. This year, man, if we hit 75%, it's a good week. Okay, so you start thinking, and I'm just talking reefer division, 5,500 trucks, 5%, that's 250 trucks a week. At 3 loads a week, that's 750 loads a week. That's 750 loads that aren't getting hauled by Tyson, Walmart, Christmas trees, right? Turkeys, frozen turkeys, and all the stuff that people need, on these empty store shelves. So that's a way you can increase your revenue side. But the expense side, we talk about fuel, we talk about accidents. Your fixed costs are your fixed costs. You can't change those. They are what they are. Your biggest variable cost is fuel. That's why we beat people up on net fuel costs and driving habits and macro 27 and all those great tools to keep that down, because that can literally add up to tens of thousands of dollars a year, depending on how many miles you drive. Accidents are crazy expensive. $1,000 on the truck, 500 on the trailer. Maybe you got cargo damage. There's another 500. Not to mention the downtime, right? The downtime of getting a truck fixed. Body work is, it's tough. I mean, all the shops are running at or near capacity. So, those are some of the challenges. It's just, and then you get into just the people side of it. I mean, putting two people in the cab of a truck is a challenge sometimes, So, but it's a risk versus reward thing for sure. But we're pretty proud of the reward. 6 figures in your first 52 weeks is pretty powerful. Robert stood up here a couple of weeks ago and challenged, any other company out there to match it. I haven't heard of any takers yet. So
Not yet.
I don't think anybody stepped up to the plate. So we're happy to propose, to talk about it and brag about it. We're very proud of it.
Jason, you kind of geeked out on me there for a second. You meant this is a trucking geek. If you want some trucking information, this is where you got to come to. That wasn't rehearsed. I just knew he knew the answer to the question. This is the type of talent that we have here at this company. Jason, we really appreciate you coming and speaking with us. Hopefully you can stick around afterwards and answer any questions that folks may have.
Whatever you need, Dennis, I'm here for you, man.
Much appreciated.
Whatever you need.
All right. So time is looking good, and we promise we won't cut anybody today. So next we're going to bring up Brandon Mallard from our Human Resources Department. He's going to talk about that time of year that we have every year, open enrollment, and what we need to do.
All right. Good morning. Now it's time for the fun part of the show, right? Insurance and accountants. So just a few announcements to make. Open enrollment has started for company drivers. You'll want to make sure you get your changes or roll your plans over by November 12th. It is an active enrollment. So company drivers, what that means is you will need to go back through your benefits this year and re-elect. We want to make sure that, what you signed up for when you first started at Prime is still what you need now. So you definitely would want to take a look at your benefits each year, make sure there's still what you need. If you want to drop some, you can. If you want to add some, you can. Okay. Few changes as far as the insurance goes. The life insurance, we are getting a new term policy that you can get up to $250,000 in coverage for. The $15,000 policy, you will now be able to re-enroll in that this year. Usually it locks itself down. So if you want to view the guides, I can always email those to you, but we keep those posted out there at primeincbenefits.com. So just please make sure that you go through the enrollment. Independent contractors, your open enrollment will start on November 1st. And this year, the federal government has allowed the open enrollment to actually finish as of January 15th. So you're actually getting an extra month this year. We will, for independent contractors, Dave Brill will be here with enrollment first. You can always give them a call. Next week for company drivers, we will have on-site enrollers here, but you can also enroll over the phone or through the app. And as always, just give me a call if you have any questions. Does anybody have any questions for me? Pretty short and sweet.
All right. Thanks, Brandon.
All right. Thank you.
Good job. To keep with that segment going, the accountants and HR people segment of the show, we've got Chase. Did we lose Chase? There he is, Chase. Chase is with Abacus here. He just relocated his desk over by the safety department. So now do you feel safer that you're a little bit closer to us?
Yeah, I feel like I've got my finger on the pulse of everything that's going on now between Millennium Plaza, Z Building. I feel like I'm park hopping at Disney or something here.
All right, there you go. Tell us what you have for us today.
Well, just a few quick things for you guys. Number one, October 15th today is the final filing deadline. So if you have not started the process of getting your taxes filed, we are up here in the Millennium Building, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. We will be here today. Contact your accountant, whoever that may be, but make sure that you are getting that ball rolling if you have not already. Probably the biggest piece of advice on top of that would be if you have not paid quarterly taxes, have not paid anything at all, try to get what you can send in. So one of the big reasons for doing that is to try and minimize as far as what they can try and penalize us on later on down the road. So if you have not made any payments yet, go ahead and try to do that today, definitely for sure. And then kind of along the lines of really everything else that's been talked about, I kind of try to think about how, everything could come back to taxes or business formation or whatever. So, a lot of what we've been talking about today is trying to set up your financial future, but same thing for your business could be said too. So I know that's one of the big areas where we've been of assistance for any people that go through the upgrade process. We have a class over in the Plaza building where we go over as far as how you file, how you pay, but also going over setting up a business, separating personal assets from business assets, and how you continue to grow that business from there. Because I know in a lot of cases, we look at a tax exempt option first, but while that may be where we start, may not be where you ultimately finish. So we're a resource just like anybody else is. So I'm usually planted over there in the Z building for now, 11 to 1, but there's still some trial and error there. And then, like I said, our office here in the Millennium, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and pretty much just like everything else that's been said today, any questions that you guys have, whether it is taxes, business formation, anything in between. I always point out we have yellow badges. We're vendors just like everybody else, but we're the vendors for that aspect of your business. So if you guys have those questions, just make sure you're asking them. Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot, Chase.
Good job. Thank you, Chase. Do we have Randy Soria in the crowd here today? Is Randy here? Come on up, Randy. Glad you showed up, man. I thought that was you, but I wasn't for sure. Come on up here. Cheryl Lane said you're maybe trying to hide from us, but I'm glad you showed.
No.
Good to have you. Come on over here. So you spent a little time in the military, didn't you? Go ahead and talk into the mic. How long?
10 years in the Marine Corps.
Marine Corps? What'd you do?
An aircraft firefighter.
Awesome. Good deal. And you serve overseas at all or just here?
Desert Storm.
All right. Well, thank you for your service. We appreciate that.
Would all the veterans that served in the armed forces stand, please?
Now, Randy, don't run away yet because this is the most important here. Nope, not yet. I might get handed over to Daryl there. So you accomplished a big feat this year. 3 million miles safe driving.
That's what they tell me.
How long you been? That's awesome.
a big one.
How long you been at Prime?
Going on the years of the be about 27.
27
Yeah, but
years.
Total driving is 29 years.
Awesome. Good.
Randy, that's a feat. So you got to tell these new folks, what's it take to drive 3 million safe miles? I mean, that's unbelievable to me.
How do you do it?
Just be aware of your surroundings. Make sure you're always moving your eyes. Whether you're backing in, pulling up, or going even down the road, because you got them coming off the exit ramp. Those that are in a hurry, and they'll cut you off and they'll just look at you and say, "Hit me," and I'll sue. But they're all crazy out there. More worse.
Hey, you guys heard it earlier. Kevin was right up here and he's a known felon now. He hit somebody in the rear. You know, Randy, I've heard that comment before. It's focus, it's being aware, it's looking around. But, that takes a lot of effort, a lot of determination, a lot of you got to stay constant. That can't be easy.
No, it's hard pull.
I just got to tell you, we're super proud because of that. We want to present this check to you. I know we've got a plaque over there too, but we just congratulations. This is phenomenal.
Thank you.
Actually, I can't remember how much the check is.
Yeah, it's $5,000.
$5,000.
Yep,
I cannot
5,000. It
remember.
has Robert's
No.
signature at the bottom too. That's
Yeah.
the most important.
So,
So yeah, congratulations, Randy. Yeah, you go ahead and look.
yeah.
I'm sure you
Make
got a
sure-
couple places
yeah.
you could spend that, right?
Sure he signed it.
What are you gonna do with it?
Huh?
What are you gonna do with the money? Any
The
idea?
ice cubes are rolling good.
There you go, ice cubes. Well, don't spend it all there, but have fun. Definitely enjoy because you deserved it. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, thank
And
you.
thank you for coming here this morning.
Thank you.
All right. We're lucky this morning too. Yeah, give Randy another round of applause.
Yeah.
Great job.
Hey, thank you.
We got, this morning, we got Daryl Hopkins up here. Daryl's our controller here at Prime. He oversees success leasing and pedigree truck and trailer sales. So I'm going to let Daryl close it out. Thank you for doing that.
Robert couldn't be here, so I will tell you this right now. I won't take near as long as him because he and Steve spend the first 15 minutes taking jabs at each other, putting their comedy show on. So I won't do that. But, and really what yeah, I'm done. Maybe I'm a little loud. I'm not sure. So I want to do two things really. One, congratulate everybody in this room that has a bright yellow jacket on because you have made a great decision. But here's the thing. Don't take my word for it. Ask anybody that doesn't have a yellow jacket on because I want to congratulate you guys. We have a phenomenal driving force. We got a great team. It's why our company is the #1 company in the nation. I mean, you guys built this and it's incredible. And, you know, Jason was up here and he talked about, you know, gosh, you have this opportunity to make a lot of money and money is definitely important to all of us. And it's definitely part of the reason we've grown because we do provide a really neat opportunity there. But I'm going to tell you, it goes a lot farther than that. I have the opportunity in the position I'm in to benchmark with other trucking companies. And none of them have the number of yellow jackets in the room that we do. None of them have the number of people wanting to come to their company like we do. And it's because of all the other things our company does, not just the money. And I'm going to start by saying it just goes back to care factor. In fact, right now, probably the only thing that's holding us back a little bit from growing is we can't get enough equipment. So I am going to suggest that after this meeting, we all go dogpile the truck guys. No, they're actually doing everything they can. There's a lot of challenges they have in getting the equipment here right now. But it's because we're trying to grow, because we've got people wanting to come here. And I'm going to tell you, it goes to all the other factors. It goes to, I'm going to start with a simple one, our open door policy. I recognize a lot of faces in here. And I do because our desks are out in the middle and any one of you guys can come and talk to us at any time. You got a question, you come ask, and these guys will testify to it. And I'll take every bit of the time you need to answer it because we want you to be successful. And that's what it takes is you got to get information. You got to help people. And that's just one thing. I mean, our care factor goes through our driver health and fitness, our retention rewards, all the programs we do that you will not see at other trucking companies. So I'm going to say respect and care are just as important as the money. And it's why I congratulate you guys because I promise you that's what you're going to find here. You guys are the lifeblood of our company. We appreciate everything you're doing. I want you to be very safe. We're coming up on winter. Be safe out there. We're already seeing weather. So I want you all to be as careful as possible. We never want to lose a driver. So be careful as you go. But thank you again for everything that you guys do.